All right, so to start, you go to bates.edu/arc. From here, scroll down to the right side where you see make or attend an appointment. Then you click on this gray box. It should take you straight to WCOnline if you're already logged in. And then you find the tutor you want to schedule an appointment with. You click on that time block, and you should get this pop-up. Check that the time is right. Check that yes, schedule online appointment. Select the course, the instructor, what you're going to meet for, and then create appointment. And that's all that the tutoree needs to do.
As a tutor and a tutee, you will get an email in your inbox about an appointment being made. And you can click on that and it'll give you the option to add it to your calendar. But you can also go check out the appointment that's been made by clicking on the link provided to log in. And just as before, you click on if you're a peer educator, you log in here. And if you're logged in, it'll take you right there. And when it shows up on your screen as a peer tutor, it'll show up in red. You'll click on the appointment that you want to work on. You'll see this pop up and you can start or join. It'll take you into the workspace and you'll see the person who you will be meeting with. And you'll also see the whiteboard area. So this whiteboard area is where you're going to work on the text that you're meeting about. And so you can either, to put in your work into this area, you can just copy and paste it into there and it'll show up in a color. And for me, the color is orange. So any edit I make in this whiteboard space will come up as orange. And then any edits that the tutee makes come up in a different color to differentiate. So another way that you can upload your work into the workspace is by using these two opposite facing arrows. And this is importing and exporting files and documents. So you can choose a file off of your computer. If your paper is in a Word document, you can select it and it'll load it right into the workspace here. You can also say you are at the end of your session and there's a bunch of text in the workspace and you want to save it. You can go back to those arrows and you can export that workspace as any of the options. You're also able to print out what's in the workspace. On the top left-hand corner, you're going to see your basic formatting functions, so bold, italics, underline, strike through, numbered list, bullet list, indentations, and then you get two arrows facing opposite directions. Press the one that goes towards the left to undo, and the other one to redo. Now you can also use this I button to hide and show, though it is not coming up, to show the colors. So this is mine and it can be orange, or if I don't want to see that, I can turn that off. Then you also have the pie button, and that's to embed mathematical functions. Then you have your normal justifications and alignments. And then on the upper right-hand corner, so where you were seeing the pencil, the printer, and the opposing arrows for the import-export, there you'll also find some other great features. One of them is the drawing tool, which creates this pop-out, and that allows you to draw on top of your text, but it isn't permanent. So if you just click on it again, it'll close. It may be fidgety, but that's great if you want to underline something and it'll show up on the other person's screen if they click on that tool as well. Now, the other functions up in this corner is this one clock type function. This, if you click on it, will pull you out of your meeting. So you probably won't want to click on that until the very end. And if you click on that, you'll be able to see everything that's happened in the session in review. So if you click on that, it'll show you a sliding bar like this, and it'll show the length of the session, and it'll show every change that has happened within the document workspace, and it'll tell you who did what. And so that's great. You can always go back and access that if you have left the session and maybe it's a day later and you want to remember the changes or you didn't export it. You can go back and retrieve this. You're also able to export the saved versions. And then you can go back to the pad by return to pad. There's also the question mark, which is the help function, which takes you to the WCOnline manual. And then you can click on the star to mark the revision as saved. And you can see that in that time slider where the clock is. So if you click that, then that means that everything that you did in the session has been saved. The last button shows you who's using the pad, and you can change to put the announce entry on, which is what I have on now. So when someone comes in to the workspace, you'll hear a pinging sound. The last thing is the chat function. So there's real-time chat that you can turn on or off. And here I can type a message to my tutee, and my tutee can send a message back. And it shows it in the colors. So if Nick were to go right in the workspace, his color is green, and that will show up simultaneously. When you want to end the session, you can just simply close the tab and your session is over. If you would like to go back into it, you can click on it again, do start or join, and you're back in. And you can go to that time slider and see the revisions that you made earlier.